Did anyone else feel like this was like Spider-Man without the Spider-Man suit? Damn you, Tom Holland.
1, 2, 3, 4!
One of my favorite video games and video game franchises of all time. Now a movie. Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach, and if you're a lover of films like I am, and you learn from films as much as I do, then you are in the right place. And if you're in the right place, then click like down below and subscribe to my channel for more content. And also, while you're down there, comment, what did you guys think of Uncharted, the video game adaptation from Naughty Dog? And what is your favorite video game adaptation film? So Uncharted is finally here, the movie I've been waiting for since I first played the first game all those years ago. So let's talk about it. Today we are talking about the 2022 action-adventure film Uncharted. Directed by Ruben Fleischer, starring Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, tells the story of Nathan Drake, a thief, an explorer, an adventurer who was out to find a lost treasure that was hidden hundreds of years ago. New sort of friend, but maybe also a double-crossing friend. Another thief by the name of Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg, and they go off on this whirlwind adventure around the world to find this treasure. Nathan Drake is probably one of my favorite characters for action, for adventure, sort of in the style of Indiana Jones, a little bit more modern, updated, more sarcastic, and I love his story. The video games I played with my wife when we first started dating, love this franchise, so we were excited when they announced this movie. And then they announced that Tom Holland was playing Nathan Drake. And I'm gonna start my video with the negative this time. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake, nor could he ever be. He simply does not have the look, the voice, the charisma. And Tom Holland has charisma, but not in the style of Nathan Drake. All of his quips and jokes that Tom Holland would make in this, it felt like it was just Peter Parker.
Hey kid, a little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
And then they announced that Mark Wahlberg was playing Sully.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Like, the two of them together, I thought we were gonna be awful, it was gonna be dumb, cheap, and not at all what the characters are. So I had that expectation going into this film, going to the movie theater. I was quite surprised at actually how much fun it was. It was a great adventure film, lots of awesome action set pieces that are actually even directly from the game, which I thought was great. And also it made sense and they built it into the storyline of the whole plot of the film. You also got the great Antonio Banderas to play a villain in this, which I loved.
This is what it's like to do a scene with Antonio Banderas. If I may call you Lou. We are going to be doing a very intimate scene. We are going to take off our shirts.
And then it was directed by Ruben Fleischer, who, I think I'm saying his name right, Ruben Fleischer? He directed Zombieland and Zombieland 2, Gangster Squad, Venom, decent action director. And actually, I have to say, this is probably one of his better films after Zombieland. It was entertaining. It was taking like Uncharted 1 with Uncharted 4 and kind of mixed them together. The story of this treasure hunting with this pirate ship, and then also mixing it with Uncharted 4, where you have Sam, Drake's older brother, kind of incorporating them both and merging them into one story, which I thought was great, and I actually thought it worked extremely well for this movie. There were some funny parts to this film, and they try really hard to incorporate the Nathan Drake, Sully dynamic in this movie and added some funny quips and jokes, but the delivery of them just wasn't the greatest. Chemistry between Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg was good, but it wasn't exceptional. Unfortunately, you have to make those characters bond extremely well. The thing with this film is that it's an origin story. I don't know if Nathan Drake needed an origin story. I think they should have said it when Nathan's like 35, Sully's about 50, 55, like they have in the video games. I think going too young with Sully and too young with Nathan didn't allow us to actually really get to know the characters from the video games. If you love the video games, you may not enjoy this movie. Unless you go into the movie with your expectations adjusted, it's not going to be the characters from the Uncharted video games. And if you go into this movie thinking it's going to be a great action adventure film, you'll actually have a lot of fun with this movie. I wasn't sure who this movie, the intended audience was for. It felt like it was for kids in some ways, like teens, young teens. And then at sometimes I was like, oh, that's some mature adult stuff that's happening. So it feels like it's for adults. But then, like, at one point, a character gets cut on the throat and they show it, but there's like no blood. And I think that's where they should have actually placed this film in, is like 14A, or even maybe making it like a rated R film would have added a little bit more tension. It would have added a little bit more urgency to the movie, where I knew like everyone's gonna be okay and there's gonna be more. Indiana Jones always felt like he was on the verge of losing, where I didn't get this in with Nathan Drake and Sully in this movie. I think a lot of it has to do with the two actors portraying the role than it is for the actual script itself. Ultimately, the biggest thing is the casting, the miscasting of Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. It's too bad they didn't make this movie like 10 years ago, because Nathan Fillion would have been the perfect Nathan Drake. 10, 11 years ago, put in the Uncharted movie, this movie would have been amazing. Ultimately, this is a fun film. It's a great action adventure film. It's just maybe not the greatest Uncharted video game adaptation that I was hoping for. So if you like these sort of B adventure movies, definitely go check out Uncharted in theaters. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Uncharted a B-. Am I maybe being a little too lenient on how much they weren't like the video game characters? Or do you think I'm being a little too harsh? And actually, this is a really great action adventure film. I would love to know your thoughts and comments down below. And while you're down there, click like and subscribe for more content to my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more. We got some films that are finally coming out. You can also check out my other film reviews I've done recently. Scream, which I really enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching today, everyone. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. Come back for some more, and I'll see you on the next film. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.